was kind of the main key to why the passing game was so effective against such a good defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously it starts with the protection and the O-line, and they did a really good job. I mean, we heard about that defensive line all week, and so for them to step up and come to the challenge was absolutely incredible to watch on tape, So it gave Kirk a lot of time. I mean, I was able to knock off some underneath coverages real quick, so the backers were kind of fluffing off a little bit and taking away a little bit of the deep balls, and then to be able to have that third down, that 3rd and 12 or whatever, and convert, and then have a couple choices and some stuff like that, bring those backers back underneath, and then open up the deep balls, I think helped a lot. So, I think it was just all contribution of everybody. I mean, complimentary football with, the wideouts, tight ends, running backs, O-line, and Kirk. I think we were all just playing well and on the same page, so it was a lot of fun.
There's a fair bit of attention on the shipping you were doing in pass pro before you would go out. Was that a pretty standard amount that you normally do in a game, or more than you normally would be asked to do?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't really know the numbers. I know I do that every at least once or twice a game. But I mean, yeah, there's no secret that they had Nick Bosa over there, and one of the elite edge rushers in this league, and so I think that helps out the guards, that helps out the tackles, that helps out everybody. So I think that was definitely a thing that we kind of focused on this week a little bit, but I don't really necessarily know if I did it more or less than normal. But I think that really helps the O-line, and then it gets me underneath their coverage, because the backers drop off a little bit, and then I get behind the D-line and underneath the backers. So
this might sound oversimplified, but do you try to go to the side that he's on, or can you see it and then you decide?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, he kind of plays a lot of. He was majority. I think it was like 65% on the right side of our side, so his left side, our right, and then the rest was on the left. So I think he played the majority of the first half on the right side, and then if I remember right, I think he was a little bit more on the left side in the second half. So I don't know if they did something or what that was about, but we don't really have the call where it's like if he's on the right side, go to the right side. If he's on the left side, go to the left side. So I can't necessarily answer that, but yeah, I mean, I think that just helps.
How's the ankle, and is it just the ankle, or did your calf bother you in the game?
Yeah, so my calf was definitely a thing in the game. Garrett landed on it going in the second. In the first half, and then I think that was the second quarter or something. And then I mean that one hurt, and I was able to let the stinger kind of go away. I mean I was limping off, and then I kind of let it go away. I was able to get a couple plays, and then came back and it felt a little better. But just something that you got to work through. And then the second one was my right ankle, and that was kind of. The guy just rolled up on me, and the foot being in that situation, and then him landing on my heel, that was another one that I just had to go to the sideline, get taped up so I couldn't move it, and just try to kind of run around like that and keep it loose. So it's all right. It was definitely sore, but it'll be all good.
Blake, can you talk about how the feeling of that game changed from another early turnover and then the McCaffrey takeaway? The things changed in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, we've had to overcome some of that stuff this year, and that's a huge credit to our defense because we put them in a bad situation to start, and so for them to come out and get us one like that was huge, because then it's just 0-0 at that point in turnover ratio, and then in the fourth quarter, obviously came back and had a couple big ones. So I think that was huge, and I don't necessarily recall us ever getting down on it after we threw that. We came to the sideline, we were like, we're good, no worries, not a big deal. We'll come back and roll. And then once we got that, it was like huge, So that was just big to have our defense kind of step up and do that for us. Like I said, it's really complimentary football, and for them to play the way that they did, and then us be able to respond in some certain situations was huge.
How's Kirk played in your eyes this year?
Kirk's been incredible. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about 8. I mean, just one of the not just one of the best quarterbacks I've been around, just awesome dude too. You know, the way he handles himself in the huddle, the way he handles himself on the field, and the way he handles himself in this locker room is just, you know, one of a kind. You know, I mean, just a great guy. You just want to play for that guy, and you just want to do really well for him. So, you know, I've got nothing but great things to say about Ate. You know, I've had a lot of fun playing with him for the last year, and so I know he's going to continue to do what he's doing, and you know, we're going to continue to keep helping him as much as we can.
Having that offensive performance like you did on Monday without Jefferson, are there some extra confidence or sort of carryover you think that can sort of transcend just that one game?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you get a win, you know, you carry that stuff over. I mean, it just gives you a little confidence. But I wouldn't say, you know, I mean, JJ makes us a better team out always, you know. So I think I wouldn't say it like that. I would just say, you know, we were able to come out, we were able to perform and do some things as an offense. But once 18 gets out there, you know, it's a whole different game as always. So. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to continue to keep battling and do what we can as an offense and take it one play at a time, because that was the biggest thing that we went into the game this last week was just take it one play at a time. Don't let anybody say anything. If something happens, move on. If something good happens, move on. It's the next play mentality. So I think that was huge for us going into Monday night, and then you know, we're just going to keep continue to carry that with us through week.
There was a couple of successful plays with you and Josh on the same side. Does there have to be chemistry between you guys? Do you have to kind of understand each other between two tight ends, where you are, how you're going to block, things like that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I think that's huge. You know, I mean, when you are a Y and an F, there's certain different patterns. There's different run game situations. There's different, you know, combos that you have to do. So I think that's huge to be able to feel how one moves in space and all that. You know, I mean, I had a deep cross over the middle. I think it was the second quarter, maybe the first, I can't remember. But, you know, Josh is chipping on the end, and then he's got to go through to a shallow. So it's one of those things where we weren't expecting a 6 technique. They gave us a 6 technique, so it was hard for me because I have to outside release that, you know, and Josh is on my outside, so he's got to really take a second and realize where I'm at in space and how I move around that guy, rather than just being able to bulldoze, and then it messes with me as I'm releasing outside. And you know, so there's certain patterns. You know, when we're blocking Y and F, it's just, you know, the way he comes off the ball, the way I come off the ball, you know, you really do have to play a couple games in order to feel that. You know, so I think that's huge. And Josh has been nothing but incredible throughout this season, just helping me out, and then in the run game, and then him helping me out in the pass game. So it's just a lot of different things that he's able to bring to the table that's super exciting. So
DJ, you had a couple of plays where you're chipping and then releasing more of a downfield route. I guess, how hard is that to chip and then be able to get downfield from a timing perspective?
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. I mean, other times it's not too bad. It just depends, you know. I think it depends on the end and how much he's rushing, and then how much he thinks I'm actually blocking him, you know, because we had to alert the refs a little later, but just they were holding us at the line, you know. So once you engage in them, they just held me, and it's like, all right, I gotta go, you know, like you can't just be holding me there. So that was one of those things. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad usually. You just take an edge and then try to run downfield as fast as you can to do your job, you know. So there's a few of them, but for the most part, you know, it's usually not bad.
One of those was 3rd and 12 early in the game.
Yeah, the 3rd and 12 early in the game. Yeah, I was able. It was, you know, I just have the option to kind of do whatever I want there. You know, chip, and then I just saw his eyes go deep and outside, and kind of lost leverage with me, and so I was like, listen, I'm going to go here, and Kirk and I were on the same page. So it's, you know, it's nice to be able to be given a lot of leeway and freedom to do some stuff like that with 8, and then KO just having the trust in me to kind of find my way around different situations and different things to, you know, be able to use what I can do and see what the defense has given us. So.
How long does it take to get to the point where you and a quarterback are reading coverage the same way when there's so much of that on the receivers or tight ends in this offense?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while when I was first in this league, because, they gave me choice routes in Detroit my first year with Stafford, and he kind of, it was one of those things, he sat me down and kind of talked me through all the coverages and what he kind of assumed in different situations, and it also depends on how the coaches see it, I mean, but here it's been super easy just because Eight's really good at anticipation with me, and then KO's kind of giving me the freedom to just see what I see, and so that makes it a lot easier than, hey, you got to break out here, you got to break out here, you got to break out here, and then now you can break in, So instead of just being able to actually read it and understand what the defense is giving you, and then just feel space, I think that's something that I can do well in an offense, is just be able to feel space where the defense is giving you and kind of be able to sit in those zones and stuff. So it's been awesome. It really didn't take me very long here. I mean, we were running choice routes the first week I got here. So it's just to be on the same page with the Eights is incredible.
Have you all seen benefits of being in the same system for a second straight year? And if so, do you have any examples of how that can benefit you?
Yeah, I mean, I think 100%. I was talking to one of our coaches about this the other day. It's one of those things. The more you know, sometimes the more you think. And so that was one of those things. When I first got here, it was there's not much thinking. And I know I can't say everything, but I know a lot about this offense and what they're trying to do in different situations and stuff like that. And so it's one of those things where so much, you got to do different things, and you know who's going and where and everything, and sometimes that can slow you down as a player a little bit, but it also speeds you up as you know what you're doing. So I think there's a little bit of like, hey, I know what's happening here, but you feel it a little too much rather than just going and playing and you know what you do. But I think it's helped us a lot to just be on the same page with the QBs and the OC and KO obviously, and so we just know what we're doing in certain situations. I think is the biggest thing. I mean, we're kind of on the same page with KO a lot of the time. We'll be like, hey, this play's coming up, and then KO calls it, and we're just all kind of on the same page of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to attack. So I think it's been incredible to be here for the second year and just starting to get in a groove of things.
You talk about playing at Lambeau, the atmosphere, the crowd, Bill Rodgers.
Yeah. Obviously, Lambeau is one of those historic places, one of the historic stadiums in this league. It's been around forever. It's got a lot of history to it, and I've been fortunate enough to play here every year of my career. So it's just an incredible atmosphere. There's it's kind of like a college atmosphere in the sense that everyone's on their feet the whole time. Everyone's always yelling, and in Green Bay, it's such a small town that everybody in that town always goes. So it's just a fun atmosphere to be at. And I know we travel well, so there's going to be a lot of purple there too. But I've always loved playing there. The real grass is huge too, so that helps. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun for sure.
Do you have any thoughts on the Iowa punt return ballot catch? Ballot?
Yeah, I think I said on Monday night, if someone asked me, I was like, I don't know if I can comment on that one, but that's definitely a tough one. I've never seen that one called, but that is what it is. I know it was good for Minnesota to get the pig at least once. So, thanks, guys.